Morning, students. Today we are going to study about Roman numbers. What can you see here? A bunch of balloons, bunch of flowers, and few beautiful butterflies. If I ask you that how many balloons, how many flowers, and how many butterflies you can see in this picture, your answer will be 10 balloons, 5 flowers, and 8 beautiful butterflies. If I ask you how you have found the answer, what you have done to get the answer, you have actually counted the number of balloons, number of flowers, and number of butterflies. We were able to do counting because we all are aware about numbers. But in early times or olden days, people cannot do calculation because they were not knowing about numbers. In ancient times, early men, for their survival, depend on animals. They move in groups to hunt them. They search for the places where they can find larger number of animals. Suppose in a day they have killed 4 animals for their group of people. Now the problem comes that how to convey it to their group of people that they have killed 4 animals, as they were not aware about number system. So they developed a method of counting using fingers. It was a successful method, but the only problem was that we only have 10 fingers. Now the problem which they faced was how to tell about larger number of animals. So they started thinking, and later on they found a newer method by marking vertical lines on the rocks. But it was quite hard and confusing once the number of animal increases. To solve this issue, they developed their own number system. They developed their own number of symbols, and these symbols represents specific number. For example, for 1, they were having one symbol. For 2, they have another symbol. For 3, they have some other symbol. For 10, they use some other symbol. Suppose if they want to tell that they have hunted 30 animals, so instead of drawing straight lines on the rock or showing with the help of fingers, they simply represented the number by writing the symbol. This made their calculation and counting very easy. Now, gradually, different symbols was created by different group of people or by different society. Among them was the Roman Empire, and they created Roman numeral. Do you know, children? Rome is a capital of Italy. Do you know that which number system we people use? We use Hindu Arabic or Indian system of numbering. Do you know how many digits we have in Hindu Arabic system? We have total 10 digits starting from 0 to 9. Using these digits, we create our numbers. Do you know this number system was formed in India and it was being spread to the rest of the world by the Arabic people? That's why it's called as Hindu Arabic, or it is called as Indian system of numbering. And how many digits we have in Indian system of numbering? Total 10 digits are there. Using these digits, we create numbers. For example, if I take 3 and 4, I'll get which number? 34. If I take 7, 8 and 9, which number I'll get? I'll get 789. As we have 10 symbols, same way Roman numerals or Roman numbers have 7 symbols. And what are these? And what are they? They are I, V, X, L, C, D and M. So just count and find that how many symbols are there. There are total 7 symbols. But in this class we are only going to study about the first 3 symbols. And what are they? The first 3 basic symbols of Roman numerals are I, V and X. Using these symbols, using I, V and X, you can create number till 39. But in class 3, we will only create numbers till 20. So let's see what these symbols represents. I represents number 1, V represents number 5 and X represents number 10. So when we combine these symbols, what we will get? We will get different symbols or different numbers. Now to create these numbers, we have to follow some rules. What are the rules? I am going to teach you 3 rules. Okay. So the first rule is repetition of a symbol means addition. However, a numeral cannot be repeated more than 3 times. Let's see through an example. Here, how many times I have repeated I? I have repeated I here 3 times. And repetition means addition. I represents which number? 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1. It will give you number 3. So Roman number in 3 is written as triple I, or it's written as capital I will be written as 3 times. Okay. Now come to the next example. In the next example, I have repeated X how many times? 2 times. So what a repetition of a symbol means? It means addition. X represents which numeral? It represents number 10. So X and X means 2 times I have to add 10. However, a numeral cannot be repeated more than 3 times. So you have to take care that I and X can be repeated only 3 times, not more than that. Now what about symbol V? V represents number 5 and we cannot repeat symbol V. So which 2 symbols we can repeat? I and X. And how many times? 3 times, not more than that. And repetition means addition. Now if I come back to the previous slide, if you see this slide, where I have just discussed about the Roman numbers, if you see there are 7 basic symbols which I told you, and we will be only studying about I, V and X. Now if you see these symbols are a part of your English alphabets. So the Roman numerals have been created by using few letters from your English alphabet. As we have done with rule number 1, we'll go to now rule number 2. In rule number 2, if a symbol with a smaller value is written before a symbol having a greater value, then we subtract. So here I am taking all the first 3 basic symbols. I represents number 1, V represents number 5 and X represents number 10. If I ask you which is the smallest numeral over here, it's I, that means which represents number 1. If I is placed or written to the left hand side of V or X, it means that we have to subtract 1 from 5 or 10. For example, Which symbol you can see here? It's V. V represents number 5. And on the left hand side, if I write a smaller numeral, that is I. So what we have to do? We have to subtract 5 minus 1. It gives me 4. So the numeral or the number 4 in in Roman number is written as I and V. Come to the last rule. What is that? Rule number 3. If a smaller numeral is written after a larger numeral, their values are added. So, with an example, I'm going to explain you now. For example, I is a smaller numeral. If it is written on the right hand side of V or X, it means we have to add 1 to 5 or 10. Which symbol which you can see here right now? It's symbol V, and V represents which number? 5. So on the right hand side, I'm going to place I. If I place I on the right hand side, what I have to do? I have to add 1. So 5 plus 1 gives me 6. So number 6 in in Roman numeral is written as V followed with I. I hope the symbols of Roman numbers and the rules of Roman numbers are clear to everybody. Thank you.